All right, guys, here we are. So day one, I got us a little logo. So it's the Music Business Mastermind, and I'm calling us the Freshman Class, not to make anybody feel like that's a bad thing, freshman. But it's the first time I've gone through this with anybody like this online, specifically talking about music as well. So I think we're all kind of first timers at this. So we'll just call ourselves freshmen. And then, man, if this turns into something, we enjoy it, we learn a lot, we grow, and we want to do it again. Maybe we can do it after the holidays in January or something, and we'll be the sophomore class, something like that. What I wanted to do was just kind of set some expectations for the best results for this group. So at the end of the day, I'm not teaching you really here. I just wanted, we talked about it. We did the Instagram post. I said people should do 100 hours of business training. And a couple of you responded and said, I'm in, I'll do it, or I take your challenge. And I thought, man, it'd just be good if and I want to do it again. I never want to stop learning. And so I wanted to challenge myself to do 100 hours with somebody. So I kind of jumped in there and just got the idea, this would be great for me. It'd be great for whoever wants to do it with me. And we just go through it together and learn from each other. And we have that synergy and that brainstorming. There's a scientific fact about synergy in a group mind, right? So for example, and I don't know what an average IQ is. I have a high EQ. I don't have a high IQ, but let's say that an average IQ is 90, and they sat down with each one of us individually at a table and gave us a problem to solve, and we all averaged like a 90 on the IQ test. But if they set the 12 of us in a room together and gave us the same problem and said, now as a group, figure this out, the group IQ goes to like 140 because we all bring different perspectives. So that's the beauty of doing something like this with people and working together, is you get that 13th mind out of our 12, that higher mind that combines all our intelligence and gives us a group higher IQ, which is phenomenal when you think about it. So whenever you hear people talking about they're a self-made man, don't buy that, and don't want to be that, because you're always better as a group. So, and I can give you a lot of philosophy and proof on that. But anyhow, so there's no teacher. At the end of the day, you're accountable for your own decisions, your own life, getting in your own 100 hours. You're going to have to stare in the mirror and face yourself if you don't have the discipline to do it. And you're going to be able to look in the mirror and celebrate yourself if you have the discipline to do it. The group is just a shared resource to keep you inspired, to keep you maybe thinking of things you hadn't thought of. Maybe you don't even know where to begin. Maybe this ain't your thing. So you don't even know what books to read or what podcasts to listen to or how to start thinking about this or approaching it. And that's all it is to kind of just bounce ideas off each other and try to get some really good ideas on how we can each improve and do a little better in our own personal lives, our own personal walks, our own music careers, and our own business skills. What I would like to see is everybody supporting one another. This has already kind of came up in the group, but do that, man. Get on each other's Instagrams and YouTube channels and comment and like. And very well, if you guys wanted to, I've already got a playlist I planned on doing something with, but if you've got songs on Spotify, we could make sure all those songs are on that playlist, and then everybody would just something like agree to stream the entire playlist once a day, right? So if we've got, let's say, 12 songs on that playlist, in a month's time, that's 360 streams. So you could just turn that playlist on when you lay down to go to bed at night on silent, let it run all the way through. But everybody's picking up 300 or 400 streams a month, which helps with the algorithm, helps other people discover us just by supporting one another when you go to bed. We could do the same thing with a YouTube playlist, IG groups. We could all get into a direct message group, put all 12 of us in the same group. Whenever you put a new post, you throw it in a group. Everybody has to go over and like it and leave a relevant comment, a real comment. I'm tired, guys. A relevant comment, a real comment, not just a fire flame or a flex muscle like I always do, but a real comment. Because if we did that and then you responded to each comment from the group, you've got 11 comments plus 11 responses. Now the algorithm's picking up 22 comments on this latest photo that you posted, plus 11 likes, and plus what you normally already have. And most of us don't have, on an average, 11 or 22 comments on our photos. So that might be a good thing too, help us kind of become more discoverable. Anyhow, at the end of the day, you're responsible for putting in an hour a day, any way, any media. It can be reading. It can be whatever you decide is personal growth that's going to give you personal philosophy and life skills and personal business skills. So whether it's taking a course on Linda or YouTube or listening to a podcast or reading a book or studying anything that's going to help you grow as a person, you just got to put in that hour a day. I'll recommend some things to us, recommendations that maybe possibly can help us stay on track together so that we could do some stuff together, almost like a book club, so that it might seem funner and we might have better interaction. That's usually the best way to do masterminds. That's how I normally do them. But you guys let me know. I just want to see you put the hour in a day and help be a part of that inspiration. We also could open an Excel sheet. I recommend you do it as an individual. Open an Excel sheet or a Google Sheets, free. Track your hours every day. You're going to feel awesome when you get to the 100 hours and you can look back at the spreadsheet and it's like a freaking trophy, man. I mean, you actually did it and you can track it. So I do recommend kind of this as our expectations for best results. So I'm going to give you first quick 5 suggestions. This right here, Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. It is the audio that started the whole self-help movement altogether. I'll give this link in the Voxer group. If you go to it and watch it, it's on various YouTube channels and Spotify and everywhere else. This is actually an old channel of mine that I was going to start. I haven't got back to, but I have it up here so you can just go listen to it on YouTube for free. Plus helps me out a little bit, build some views on that channel in case I ever decide to use it in the future. But anyhow, this was the book that I listened to for about 30 days straight, and then every Monday for a year to start my week. I listened to this 30-minute audio on my drive to work every Monday, and it was the first year that I broke 6 figures in my income. And I honestly attribute a lot of it to this book, to this audio. I mean, it changed my life, and I still listen to it on a regular basis. Super powerful. And again, first year that it allowed me to, and I think this was a big contributor, allowed me to break 100,000, 6 figures legally. That's another conversation, right? First year legally that I was able to make that kind of money. So I highly recommend that you listen to this over and over and over. I once heard that you don't even begin to grasp a topic or a book or a sermon or a podcast until you've listened to it 7 times. So I recommend just over and over and over devouring this thing and let it become part of your subconscious. Just really get into it. So that's suggestion number 1. It's going to add about 30 minutes to your 100 hours. So if you listen to it multiple times, you get to track that each time, and it'd be easy to get up closer to your 100 hours just by this alone. And I'm definitely going to listen to it again while we're doing this a few times. Okay, so the next suggestion I have, suggestion 2, is I would download something that tracks your app usage and your cell phone usage. Our app is an example of that. There are multiple. Just read the reviews, find a good one on your platform. But I highly recommend getting an app for this 100 days and tracking your usage. You're going to be surprised, guys, at how much you're consuming social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever it is, and on silly stuff. But it's going to give you a little bit of concept of that you really do have time to do a lot more. Sean was talking a lot about that in the Voxer group today and getting on a schedule. So I highly recommend getting on a schedule, tracking your time, tracking your app usage, and figuring out how much time you're really wasting, how much. I mean, this goes really deep. We can go really deep, and we probably will over this 100 days into these topics. But this is a great starting point just to kind of see. I mean, I was surprised, man. I mean, when I downloaded it and started watching, and I was seeing like opening my phone every several minutes, like 260 times a day and 4 hours, and it was just crazy. But we'll get into that later. But you know, I could tell just about everything I need from somebody, if they're going to be successful or not, or kind of what their God is, what they really invest a lot of time in, if you will, by looking at their calendar and their checkbook, their bank statement. because where you spend your time and where you spend your money tells me a lot about you, tells me a lot about myself. So this is a great thing to start tracking and start looking at. It's going to help you grow as a person over these next 100 days. Suggestion number 3 is that you go out and you get a blank journal. And no, I'm not asking you, gentlemen especially, to keep a diary. But I would start journaling. Through this process, you'll want to write down what happens over the next 100 days, notes that you learn from a lot of these lessons. So if somebody says something in the Voxer group, you're like, wow, I need to know that. Or they say, man, you should read this book. Write the book down. Then when you're reading the book, there's great parts in it, great lines in it, great things you need to apply to your life. Write it in there. Sometimes sit down. This can be part of your 100 hours. Spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes just writing down your thoughts. Just do a brain dump. Let it spill out. Why do I think I'm not successful? Why do I think I'm not having good relationships? Why, just anything, good or bad, just start dumping it out and getting it on paper. And it's exciting to build. I have journals and journals and journals full. There's no matter what ancient philosophy you look at, know thyself is a big thing, like self-awareness. You can't change stuff if you don't know it's broke, or you don't even know you're lost. Some of the stuff we struggle with is questions we don't even know to ask, right? Because of our lack of experience and lack of self-awareness. I challenge you to sit down and write that out, and to start journaling and keep your journal. Now, a rule of thumb my mother gave me: never put anything on paper that you don't want anyone else to know about. So don't name names, don't write bad stuff about your spouse or your kids or your significant other or your boss or your mother. Don't do that. You can code it. You can write it in a different way, but just remember, this could be lost at any time. I'm just protecting you, because I don't want you to start a journal and then you write something bad about your wife and then you end up in a divorce and then you blame me. So don't put it down on paper if you don't want the world to know. But it is a powerful, powerful resource. You'd be surprised at how many people recommend journaling. Not only that, but go out and get you a nice journal. Get you a leather bound or something that's got a custom top on it. I mean, if you'll spend $20 on a book that's supposed to educate you a little bit, then the value of my journals are almost priceless. I mean, there's price on everything with me, but almost priceless. I mean, the knowledge that I put in there, the highlights of all the books and my life experiences, you can't put a value on that. So to spend $20 or $50 on a leather-bound journal, I say go for it. Suggestion number 4, of course, going back to Sean, thank you for everything you've already said in the group. Developing a schedule and even a morning routine and getting up earlier. I suggest that for you. It's a great time to get up and knock your day out, your hour out for the day. But the main reason why I think it's so important that Tim Ferriss, if you've never listened to his podcast or read his books, his podcast is phenomenal. It should be part of your 100 hours, the Tim Ferriss podcast. Ferriss. You can see it right here. He always goes and interviews and studies people that are super high level, successful, world-class performers. And the most common theme among all of them, not everyone did it, but the most common thing. So the highest percentage of things that they all do. So if you looked at Olympic athletes and you looked at world champion fighters and you looked at billionaires and you looked at stock investors and you looked at VC, venture capitalists, and you looked at successful music artist Jamie Foxx. I mean, you looked at all these people he's interviewed over the years. The most common congruent thing that they all did in the highest percentage was they had a morning routine. So that in itself speaks a lot. So I would challenge you during this 100 days to develop a morning routine for yourself. Last but not least, I'd recommend that you watch Hustle and Flow. Watch it with your journal. If you've never seen it, you're going to love it. If you have seen it, watch it again with your journal. Either group, watch it with your journal. Take notes and try to look for the life lessons and the music business lessons inside of this movie. I started to do a series on this, like a 10-part series, and I only got 2 of the parts done. But with this group, I'm feeling motivated to do the other 8. So I thought it might be a fun way for us to get through this 100 hours. So if you watched a movie and took notes and studied it, not just for entertainment, that's 2 of your 100 hours education, right? You can buy this movie on YouTube, on Google Play Store, on iTunes, different places for like $2.99, and it's a 2-hour movie. I'm going to start recording those other 8 parts, and it'll be something you'll have the option to listen to. But I would love to talk with you guys and see what you discover in there, and see if you agree with what I discover in there, because it's a great story, and there are some powerful principles that I think most people who watch this movie miss. I watch it. This is how much I believe in it, and it's a fictional story. I watch it once a year, without a doubt. I've watched it once a year for about 15 years. Because I think it has that, it's a good movie, but it has that many great lessons in it. And it's not my favorite movie, but for business, I watch it to get inspired and rethink about those things and hash them out once a year. In fact, check your boy out. You guys like that. I know you do. That's what I made when I started recording the series. I was going to use that as a YouTube post. Actually, I did for one, but anyhow. So that's it. That's my first 5 suggestions to get us started. Get on it. Let me know your thoughts, man. Leave a comment under this video. Come in the Voxer group and let me know what you think. If I can suggest podcasts to you, suggest podcasts to each other, suggest books to each other. You're already doing that. Get out there and support each other. And let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? Was this what you expecting? Do you want to go another direction? I'm game, man. I'm here just to learn from you guys and to take this journey with you. That's it. So let me know.